Gilbert Arenas won the lottery with the help of a homeless man. Have you seen this story?
No, I'm curious as to what it is.
Okay, so Gilbert Arenas had $10 on him. He forgot his wallet. He was in his car. He was heading to a gas station to pick up his Powerball lottery tickets from his gas station, okay, from his people. He gets there. For some reason, he encounters a homeless man. He says, hey, I'm going to use $5 on. He has $10. He said, I'll give you $5. I got to go somewhere. The homeless man said, no, keep the money. I don't need the money. Just give me a part of the winnings whenever you go buy the lottery tickets from wherever you go. He continues on his journey. The place closed up where he normally buys his lottery tickets, goes back home. Next morning, he wakes up with a text message from a number he doesn't know. It says, congrats, you won the Powerball for $300,000. Has no idea what it means. Goes into the gas station. The gas station person says, hey, since I shut down the store early yesterday, I played your numbers for you. So Gilbert Arenas is playing the lottery so much that the person who works at the gas station knows his number. Electric that he's this all in on the Powerball. I hope to get to that point in my life one time. Those numbers hit. He wins $300,000. He says, thank you to the gas station. I assume he tips him out handsomely, goes and tips out the homeless person handsomely, and then goes about his day as a man who won a Powerball and won $300,000 and when he didn't even buy a ticket. What an amazing story. Gas station attendant deserves all the credit in the world for being potentially the best human on earth, because Gilbert Arenas did not know that ticket existed. He could have pocketed that, chose not to. And then homeless person saying, yeah, I need it, but you need it more. Good luck in the Powerball. Ends up winning. Gilbert Arenas, this is an awesome story. Happy for him. I hope that happens to me one day, that I am a regular at a gas station for Powerball so much that they know my motherfucking numbers. And even when I don't buy a ticket, I still win. Good for Gilbert Arenas.
Well, good for the gas station attendant. Are you kidding me? You realize you have a winner, that you played for somebody, a famous guy that would never know if you didn't tell him.
Ever. You could pocket that $300,000. It's just like in the movie American Gangster, when who's the cop in that?
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe finds the $1 million and doesn't keep it. He reports it or whatever. That's exactly this gas station person. He had $300,000 in his hand. Nobody knew that this $300,000 existed except for him and Gilbert Arenas. This is a personal relationship that Gilbert Arenas comes in every day with him and picks the same numbers. Gilbert Arenas would have never known. The guy could have taken $300,000, decided not to. And that, my friends, is why you should believe that the world is much better than it is worse, and why happiness will always win over negativity, because of people like that restoring faith in fucking humanity.
Yeah.
You're right. Now, what is the proper amount that Gilbert should have given to this gas station attendant as well as the homeless person? Because if he won $300K, you could say he's safely going to pocket $140.
So he's going to lose half because of the lottery tax, and then the prize tax, and then the state tax. So he's
maybe less than $140 he'll take home.
Yeah, it's probably like $110 maybe.
And I'm sure there's options of, hey, we can pay you like $3,000 a month for a certain amount of time, or you can take a lump sum for less than the $300.
By the way, everybody always says take the lump sum. I think if I ever win one of those big ones, I'd like to make it a game of spending the money every month.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they say take the lump sum because, like, I want to be making money on my money. I don't want you making interest on my money.
Yeah, and I get that. But if it's $700 million, like, be pretty cool just to show up once
It's like the deferred contracts, like what Bobby Bonilla gets paid a 1.5 or 3 mil like every March or something. Like, that'd be kind of nice, man, if they deferred your contract and I knew I had this big check coming every year.
Well, that's why every scratcher I play is one that's for life. Every scratcher I play is one that wins you for life, because I just would like a happy little show up at the front door each week. But they say, well, you take the upfront money. Well, when you take upfront money, they cut it down even more because they know that they got you because you're getting upfront cash as opposed to the long haul. Now, obviously, if you die, there has to be some transfer of money and stuff like that. But I'm taking a long haul, and I'm making it a game on how I could spend every single dollar every single month in an interesting fashion. So I think he gives 10 to 15 grand to gas station person, same amount of money to homeless person, and then he kind of rides off in the sunset with another 70 grand.
It's a good story, and he'll be back next week to play those same numbers.
Bingo. I think that's a good amount, right? He's giving 10%, 15% probably give to the gas station guy, maybe 20%.
Of his net, someone would probably argue, no, you need to give 10% of the gross.
Which would be
I've had teammates argue when they tithe, when tithing, giving 10% of your income to a church. And I've had heated arguments I've seen of teammates say, no, you tithe off your gross. You don't tithe off your net. What would you do?
So maybe 10, 15 grand is a little light. Probably give him 25, 30.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
But also, did I win 300 grand or
protocol
did I actually win 400 grand and it's a cops found, you know what I mean? Because
Changes the game.
180, 200 bucks of mine went missing from when I was arrested to the next morning when I could reclaim my money. So,
Well, you give that homeless guy $5 because he's got no clue you won the lottery. You tell him to go kick rocks. You just take care of the clerk at the gas station.
That's a good idea. Actually.
Jesus.
Nick, just keep the good friendly cycle going, right?
Yep.
He's a terrible guy. He's a terrible guy. Right there.
That guy probably doesn't even know what day of the week it is. You just let him
Listen to this.
get his malt liquor from the grocery store and you just keep
This fucking guy. He's such a terrible person.
Man. I can't co-sign on that.
Me neither. I hope you give that guy. You should see my relationship with homeless people. Okay? It is a good one.
But how do you mean?
I took one homeless guy out for St. Patrick's Day with us one day.
Really?
Yeah. Started at like 7 a.m. with me, and I just said, you just want to come with us? He said, yeah. Got him a couple of jackets from some places. I mean, he was with us all day. That guy probably, I don't know, I probably gave him $3,000-4,000 that day. He just hung out with me all day.
You sent me down station scared.
No.
You were hanging out with this homeless guy all day.
Nick hopped in a cab. He should not have hopped in. It was very obvious that we were not following wherever this cab was going to. We come out. There's a couple of people we didn't know, and I didn't want to be around them. So we're like, all right, we'll just let them get in that cab. We'll tell them we'll meet up with them soon. And Nick hops in the cab, and we're all like, don't do that, Nick. And Nick hops in, and it's like, well, don't save him. He don't want to be saved. Fucking gone. See you in about 4 hours. And it was me, a couple of my other buddies that Nick wanted to hang out with most, and then homeless guy. Nick was replaced by the homeless guy that we found right there on the side of the street.
Do you have a name?
Had the time of his life.
I don't know. He had a sign, though. It said, why lie? It's for beer. And I was like, you just want to fucking come have all the beer? He's like, yeah. He fucking threw his sign down. It was like a movie. He just joined us. He got kicked out of one place because they said he wasn't properly dressed and he was doing something else. But he had a good run with us. And I gave him a lot of money. Another homeless guy in Pittsburgh, like 2, 3 a.m. on the south side walking down the street. I saw him. He had great Timbs on, so I respected it. And we had a good conversation. I gave him like $500. And I said, I'm going to be back next week. If I see you here, I'm going to be upset. I want you to go get a job at McDonald's. I want you, $500 is enough to put a down payment on an apartment complex, get you some new clothes. I'll see, if I'm here next week, I want a refund or whatever. And he's like, oh, you got it, man. Clean dap. We leave. Next week, about 3, 4 a.m., I see him again, sitting there, hand out. I'm like, what the fuck happened, pal? Gave you $500 last week. He was like, I wanted to get a job at McDonald's. I had no home address. I couldn't fill out the thing. I couldn't apply for a job. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Gave him another $500 and walked away. So, I mean, me and homeless people have a good relationship.
I mean, a smart business move would be to dress up as a homeless person and hang out outside of your little funhouse warehouse.
Where I'm at?
Try to get some cash.
Yes, it is a smart idea. It is a good idea. And I get yelled at by people that normally own the places that have the homeless people outside of it. They're like, why are you rewarding bad behavior? I'm like, well, what the fuck you want me to do? You want me to just look at this and then I know that I've been grossly overpaid and I'm just supposed to walk by this person that obviously just wants to buy drugs or booze and say, hey, you're not fit to get that? I'm like, here you go, pal. Fucking let's live a little.
That's the thing I don't understand when people are like, whoa, why you giving them any money? They're just going to go buy alcohol. I'm like, okay, cool. What do you mean? It doesn't change what me going to give him money.
You know what I was probably going to do with this money? Ounce of vitamins, bro. It's crazy. His went to liquid. Mine would have went to smoke.
But you'd rather, basically, the moral of that story is you'd rather hang out with random homeless people than people that you actually know.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Nick should not have gotten in that cab.
Well, Diggs was down Station Square. I want to go see
I tell you what, for our Super
You
Bowl
were
super
down
yacht experience,
I don't remember.
maybe we have a raffle and we bring on 25 random homeless people on the boat.
So I gave away 5,000 tickets when the Pacers made the playoffs back against when they made that run against the Heat. So the Pacers were worried that the home playoff game wasn't going to sell out, okay, because they had just come back into resurgence after falling off a little bit after some PR issues. So I said, some conversation started. I don't know if they started a conversation or I started the conversation. I was like, can I just buy 5,000 tickets and give them away or whatever? And they were like, yeah, we'll give you for a deal. I think they charged me $2 a ticket maybe or something like that. So I put $10,000 down. Then I had to give away the 5,000 tickets. You know how hard it is to give away 5,000 tickets?
How do you even do that?
So what we did was we set up something down at the time, I think it was Conseco Fieldhouse. Now it's Bonkers Life Fieldhouse. They put a hoop down in the lobby. And if you showed up and you made a free throw, you got 2 tickets. Because it's Indiana. You know how many homeless motherfuckers showed up? They were their busted ass drunk. I mean, we had a line of thousands.
Then did they try to resell the tickets?
Thousands of people, but there was probably 15, 20% of them were homeless people. They're like, oh, I get to fucking watch a playoff NBA game. I'll come get this shot loose. And they're like throwing things off the back, taking food out of there. I mean, it's one of those situations. But yeah, it was not easy to give away the tickets. It was much harder than I thought, and I would never do it again. But it was a cool moment to watch a homeless get wet and get a chance to go hang out for a night.
I mean, 5,000's a lot. I would imagine if you just had the tickets there and said, hey, show up and we'll give you 2 tickets, you still may not be able to give them all away.
No, there was a lot of people there that were shooting the free. That's why we had to do the free throw thing, because we thought 5,000 homeless people could potentially show up. So there had to be a little bit of a challenge to get in.
I would have went down there. Like if I was living in the area and I wouldn't like take my kid to a game, I may have gone and tried to make a few.
Good team too. That was back when Paul George, George Hill, Roy Hibbert,
Lance,
Frank Vogel,
David West,
Lance Stevenson. That was a good team.
Look good, feel good, play good.
Play good, pay good, live good, die good.